There are dates that leave a mark, dates that change everything. And according to some, January 6th of this year will not be just any ordinary day, coincidence, synchrony, or is something deeper about to awaken. Silence. Deep breath. Because what you are about to hear is not a prediction. It is a reflection, an invitation to look beyond what is visible, to feel what many are already feeling in silence. Welcome to a journey where mystery and consciousness meet. JJ Benítez, a name that awakens fascination, a man who has dedicated his life to exploring the unexplained, investigative journalist, best-selling author, tireless traveler through the enigmas of the spirit. His books have sold millions of copies worldwide. Caballo de Troya, his most well-known saga, led readers from every corner of the world to imagine a different Jesus, a cosmic teacher, a being of light incarnated. But Benítez is much more than an author. He is a seeker, someone who does not accept easy answers, someone who asks questions, who challenges, who confronts the structures of conventional thinking. And that is why he generates controversy. Because talking about UFOs, extraterrestrial civilizations, near-death experiences, angels, and invisible dimensions is not comfortable. It does not fit into the rational world we were taught to accept. Yet thousands, millions of people feel there is truth in his words, or at least a possibility that deserves to be explored. Benítez has often spoken about signs, about those moments when the universe seems to speak to us in a silent language, and according to some of his followers, according to interpretations of his recent messages, January 6th could be one of those dates, a portal, a turning point, a day when something invisible but powerful moves within the collective consciousness. But what does this really mean? Imagine for a moment an ordinary dawn. The world is still asleep. The streets are empty. But in thousands of homes, in different countries, people wake up with the same feeling, a diffuse yet real sensation, as if something were about to change, as if a door were about to open. That is what many describe when they speak of special dates. It is not about catastrophes or spectacular external events. It is about something internal, deep, intimate, something that is felt more than it is seen. According to some spiritual interpretations, January 6th is not only Epiphany, it is a date charged with symbolism. The moment when the Magi from the East, according to Christian tradition, arrived at the child Jesus guided by a star. 3 wise men, 3 gifts, 3 paths converging at a single point. Coincidence that there are 3. In numerology, 3 represents the Trinity, the union of the material, the mental, and the spiritual, perfect balance, the manifestation of the divine within the human dot. And if we look deeper, the number 6 itself is a number of harmony, of balance between heaven and earth. 2 triangles meeting, above and below, the visible and the invisible. But beyond numbers, there is something more tangible, more human. The signs. Many people report something strange these days. More vivid dreams, coincidences that seem impossible, unexpected encounters with people from the past, messages that arrive at exactly the right moment, songs that resonate with unsettling precision, images that repeat again and again. A woman in Argentina says she dreamed for 3 consecutive nights of a bridge, always the same bridge, always crossing it, always with the feeling that something new was waiting on the other side. A man in Spain describes how every time he looks at the clock, it shows exactly 11:11, or 3:33, or 5:55. Repeating numbers, numeric portals, some call them messages from the soul. A young woman in Mexico says that in recent days she has felt an irresistible need to meditate, to be in silence, to step away from noise, as if something inside her knew she needed to be ready. Are these things real, or just suggestion? That is a question each person must answer for themselves. But what is interesting is that these experiences are not isolated. They multiply, they are shared, they amplify, and when thousands of people feel the same thing at the same time, something is happening. Perhaps not in the physical world, but certainly in the invisible field of collective consciousness. JJ Benítez has insisted throughout his work on one thing: we are not alone. Not only in the sense that there may be extraterrestrials observing us, though he believes that too, but in the sense that there is an invisible network of consciousness, an energetic field that connects us all, and at certain moments, that field activates. It intensifies, it becomes more perceptible. January 6 could be one of those moments. But this is not about waiting passively. It is not about sitting still, expecting something magical to happen. It is about being present, being attentive, opening the inner eyes. Because great transformations do not always arrive like explosions. Sometimes they arrive like whispers. Think about this. How many times in your life have you felt that something was about to change just before it happened? That feeling in your stomach, that inexplicable restlessness, that intuition you cannot ignore. We have all felt it. It is intuition, that inner voice that knows before the mind does, that perceives before the senses, that knows without needing proof. And according to many spiritual teachers, ancient texts, and the wisdom of millennial traditions, we are entering an era of awakening, a time when more and more people begin to remember who they truly are. Not just physical bodies, not just personal but eternal consciousness experiencing a temporary adventure called life. January 6th could be a reminder of that. A day to look inward, a day to ask ourselves, what am I doing with my life? Am I living from fear or from love? Am I listening to my inner voice or only to external noise? Am I being who I came here to be? Uncomfortable questions, necessary questions, questions that, if we dare to answer honestly, can change everything down. It is important to clarify something. None of this is a promise of extraordinary events. There is no guarantee that the sky will open, that angels will descend, or that UFOs will land in your city's main square. That is not the point. The point is consciousness, presence, the willingness to see with new eyes. Because the extraordinary is not always spectacular. Sometimes the extraordinary is realizing that you are alive, that you breathe, that you love and are loved, that you are part of something much greater than yourself. Benítez has often said that true miracles happen within, that true transformation is not measured by external events, but by changes in perception, by expansion of consciousness, by opening of the heart. And if January 6th can be anything, it is a reminder of that. A reminder that every day is sacred if we choose to see it that way. But there is also a challenge, because awakening is not comfortable. Awakening means letting go of certainties, questioning beliefs, facing fears, looking at shadows we have avoided for years. And that is frightening. Fear is natural, human, part of the process. Many people feel an intensification of fear these days. Fear of the future, fear of losing what is familiar, fear of not being enough, fear of being wrong, fear of being alone. But according to ancient spiritual teachings, fear is simply the ego's resistance to its own dissolution, the mind's last attempt to maintain control, to preserve the illusion of separation. And when fear arrives, when it intensifies, it may be a sign that something important is about to be born. Think of a butterfly. Before it can fly, it must break its chrysalis. It must struggle. It must push through darkness. And in that moment, if someone were to help it, if someone broke the chrysalis for it, the butterfly would die, because it is precisely that effort that strengthens its wings. Perhaps January 6th is an invitation to strengthen our wings. To trust the process. To let go of control. To surrender to something greater than our small individual will. Now let's talk about something practical, because all this reflection is beautiful. But what can you actually do on January 6th to take advantage of this energy, to align yourself with what many interpret as a special date? Here are some suggestions. They are not rules, they are invitations. First, dedicate time to silence. Turn off your phone, turn off the television, turn off external noise. Sit somewhere comfortable, close your eyes, and simply breathe. Do not seek anything, do not expect anything, just be present. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour, whatever you can, because in silence, the voice of the soul becomes audible. Second, write. Take a notebook and a pen, and write what you feel. Not what you think, but what you feel. Without judgment, without editing, without censoring yourself. Let the words flow. 3 lines or 3 pages, it does not matter. What matters is giving voice to your inner world, because sometimes we do not know what we feel until we write it. Third, observe nature. If you can, go for a walk. Look at the sky. Feel the wind. Listen to the birds. Touch a tree. Nature has a silent wisdom that reminds us of our true essence. It reminds us that we are part of a whole, that we are not separate, that we belong. Fourth, practice gratitude. Make a list of 3 things you are grateful for, big or small. A roof over your head, someone who loves you, the taste of coffee, a child's laughter. Gratitude opens the heart, and an open heart is a receptive heart, a heart that can perceive the subtle. Fifth, perform an act of kindness. Something small, something that costs little or nothing. A smile to a stranger, a message of love to someone who needs it, unexpected help, a word of encouragement, because when we give, we expand, and when we expand, we connect with the source of everything. Sixth, if you have a spiritual practice, deepen it that day. If you pray, pray with more devotion. If you meditate, meditate with more presence. If you practice yoga, do it with more awareness. If you read sacred texts, read them with more openness. Whatever your path is, walk it more consciously on January 6th and 7th. Pay attention. Pay attention to details. To sync 2 messages, 2 dreams, 2 unexpected conversations, 2 books that fall from a shelf, 2 phrases you overhear on the street, 2 images that capture your attention. Because the universe is always speaking. We just need to learn its language. These are only suggestions. Each person must find their own way to honor a day they consider special. What matters is not doing everything perfectly. What matters is intention, willingness, openness. And now, a question for you who are listening to this. Have you felt something different lately? Any sign, any dream, any synchronicity that caught your attention, any intuition you cannot explain? If the answer is yes, you are not alone. Thousands of people around the world are feeling the same thing, and that, in itself, is already significant. Because when collective consciousness moves, something changes. Perhaps not immediately in visible ways, but deeply, irreversibly. JJ Benítez has dedicated his life to investigating the invisible, to seeking answers where others see only mystery, to opening doors where others see walls. And although not everyone agrees with his conclusions, though many criticize and question him, there is something undeniable. He has inspired millions to look beyond, to not settle for superficial explanations, to dare to explore the unknown. And that in a world that is becoming increasingly mechanical, accelerated, and disconnected, is a gift. Because we need mystery. We need magic. We need to remember that not everything can be measured, weighed, or quantified. That there are dimensions of existence that escape rational logic. That there are experiences that cannot be explained, but can be lived. And January 6th, according to some interpretations, could be one of those opportunities. An opportunity to experience something that cannot be explained, but can be felt. An opportunity to open an inner door. An opportunity to say, yes, I am willing. Yes, I am open. Yes, I trust. We do not know what that day will bring. No one knows, and that is okay. Because life is not about certainty. It is about mystery, adventure, discovery. What we do know is that every day is a gift. Every day is an opportunity. Every day is a blank canvas on which we can paint whatever we choose. And if we choose to paint with consciousness, love, presence, gratitude, and openness, then every day becomes sacred, including January 6th. So get ready, not with fear, not with rigid expectations, not with demands on the universe. Get ready with openness, with curiosity, with wonder, like a child about to discover something new. Because maybe, just maybe, something new is about to be discovered, not outside of you, but within you. And that, my friend, that would truly be extraordinary. January 6th may be a normal day for some, a special day for others, a day of silent transformation for those who are ready. Are you ready? Are you willing to see what you may have been avoiding? Are you willing to feel what you may have been denying? Are you willing to be who you truly are? If the answer is yes, then it is already happening. The awakening, the transformation, the change. Do not wait for spectacular external signs. Be the sign, be the change, be the light you have been waiting for. Because in the end, that is what all of this is about. Remembering that we are not passive victims of an imposed destiny. We are active creators of our reality. We are beings of light, temporarily experiencing the density of matter. We are eternal, playing at being mortal. We are infinite, pretending to be limited. And when we remember that, when we truly feel it, in every cell of our being, everything changes. There is no need to wait until January 6th for that. But if that day can serve as a reminder, a focal point, a symbolic portal, then welcome it. Because everything that helps us awaken is sacred. Everything that invites us to expand our consciousness is valuable. Everything that reminds us of our true nature is a gift. And JJ Benítez, with all his investigations, all his books, all his controversies, has given us precisely that. An invitation to question, to explore, to dare to imagine that maybe, just maybe, there is much more than we have been told. And for that reason, regardless of whether you believe in special dates or not, regardless of whether you resonate with his ideas or not, it is worth pausing. It is worth taking a moment to look inward. It is worth asking yourself, what truly matters in my life? What did I come here to do? What is my soul desperately asking me to listen to? These questions do not have easy answers, but they are the questions that matter. And January 6th, if you choose to honor it, may be the day you begin to answer them. Not with the mind, but with the heart. Not with logic, but with intuition. Not with fear, but with love. So I invite you, on January 6th, no matter where you are, no matter what you are doing, dedicate at least a few minutes to being present, to being with yourself, to being open. And observe what happens. Perhaps nothing spectacular will happen, or perhaps everything will. Perhaps it will be the beginning of something you cannot yet imagine. There is only one way to find out. Be present. Be attentive. Be alive. If this message resonated with you, if something inside you was activated as you listened, leave me a sign. Write the word SIGN in the comments. Just that, SIGN. So I will know you are not alone in this. That many of us feel something is changing, that something is awakening. And if you have not yet done so, subscribe to this channel, activate the notification bell, because we will continue exploring these themes. We will continue diving into mystery. We will continue remembering together who we truly are. January 6th is near. It will not be a normal day, not because the world will change, but because you can change. And when you change, the world changes with you. See you on the other side.